Hello, boys and girls. How are you? Well, I'm happy to be once more at your home. And today we're going to do research again. So, we're going to be doing research. Guess what animal? We're going to be doing research on moose. You know what a moose is? Have you ever seen a moose? I'm sure you have. But before we begin, let's learn some vocabulary that we're going to be seeing in the book I'm going to read you. And it's going to be an informational book. And informational books gives us what? Yes, it gives us facts and information about something. So the facts and information it's going to give us is on moose. So let's begin. Okay, let me put this a little bit smaller here. So I like moose. I've seen them in the zoo. Okay, let's begin. Moose. So here we can see in this picture, we can see a female moose and a male moose. So female are, you're right, they're like the girls, and the male is the boy. Okay, so the males they have long. What are these called? Yes, horns. Well, moose are mammals, and mammals have fur and they give milk. Although some mammals might not have fur, but they give milk to their babies, to their young ones. So here we can see some mammals. Here we can see a wolf. We can see a leopard. We can see a hyena, antelope. We can see a lemur. This is a lemur. This is a guinea pig. This is a dog, a cat, and elephants. And last week we saw coyote. That's right. Coyotes are also mammals. Habitat. And I'm sure all of you know what a habitat is. You're right. So habitat are where animals live. What are the habitat of a moose? So we're going to be looking for that. We're going to be learning about that. And here we see the rams. And the habitat of the rams is high in the mountains. And the habitat is it's cold. Here we see a deer. And the habitat of the deer is in the forest. Here, sorry. Go back to this one here. Okay, so here we see the habitat of a toucan. And toucans, they live in the rainforest. And the rainforest is really hot and it rains a lot. And here we have some fish. So fish can either, their habitat can be in a river, in a stream, in a pond, or in the ocean. So habitat, where animals live. And diet. When we talk about diet of an animal, we're referring what do they eat? The food. So here we see some caribou, and caribou eat leaves, and they also in the winter when there is no leaves around, they can eat twigs. You see these twigs here? They have no leaves, and over here it's eating the bark of the tree. So they also eat bark of the tree. They also eat marine water plants. And this is, you can see a little bit of the glimpse of the habitat of a moose. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to go to our story. And I got this book from Epic. And it doesn't want to turn the pages. Oh, okay. So the title is Moose. The author is Kate Riggs, and I like Kate Riggs' books. Okay. So what did we know about moose? Look at the picture here. We see their antlers. They're not horns. They're called antlers. They have fur. That's right. They have a big nose. So let's learn about them. Okay, moose. Amazing Animals, Moose by Kate Riggs. So here it says, the moose is the biggest deer in the world. There are 6 kinds of moose. They are named for their habitats. Most moose live on the continent of North America. And over here we can see um, a caption, and it says moose are about twice as big as the second largest deer or elk. And again, here it says continents, one of Earth's 7 big places of land, and here it says habitats, places where animals live. These are really big animals. Moose have thick fur to keep them warm. The fur is light or dark brown in color. Male moose have antlers on the top of their heads. A pair of antlers on an old moose can be more than 6 feet across. So across would be like this, 6 feet across. So just imagine Mr. McCrow laying down and almost as large as he is, because Mr. McCrow is like 6'2" or 6'3" or something like that. So, but that are big antlers, are they? Very big antlers. The pair of antlers on a male moose is called a rack. So we call them racks. So here it's giving us some characteristics about the moose. Let's write how a moose looks. The largest moose is the Yukon Alaska moose. It can be more than 7 feet tall at the shoulder. So the shoulder is here, so the moose shoulder will be over here, and it's 7 feet tall. Imagine that. We're not counting how tall he is with the head. It's just up to his shoulder. So that is even taller than Mr. McCrow. They are really big animals, aren't they? A male Yukon Alaska moose can weigh as much as 1,400 pounds. Wow, that is really heavy, isn't it? Okay. Moose live in forests. They like to be near water, such as stream or lake. Moose have to watch out for predators. Wolves and bears sometimes attack moose. So here it says moose can dive underwater and like to swim. So they can dive underwater and they like to swim. And here we can see one. And you know what a predator is. That's right. So a predator is animals that kill and eat other animals. So here is telling us that the moose live in forests and they like to be near water, such as stream or lake. So there we see the habitat. That's right. Forests. And they like to live in near water, such as streams or lake. So remember that when we go and write down what their habitat is. A moose eats plants from the water and from land. So they can eat plants from water. So it's going to be the ones that are in the water. And from land. It likes to eat leaves from willow, birch, and aspen trees. A moose will eat twigs and bark if there are no leaves on the trees. So usually that's going to happen in the winter. That's right, in the winter there's no leaves. And so they eat the twigs and the bark of a tree. So if they eat leaves, barks, and twigs, what are they? Are they carnivores or herbivores? You're right, they're herbivores. That's right, because they don't eat meat. The way that moose eat plants is called browsing. It's called browsing. Okay, a mother moose has 1 or 2 calves at a time. The calves drink milk from their mother. When they are 2 weeks old, calves start eating plants too. A 1-year-old calf leaves its mother and finds its own home. Wild moose can live for about 20 years. Okay, so They drink milk and they have fur, so we know that they're mammals. That's right. They are mammals. Here in this caption, it says calves weigh about 30 pounds at birth. And calves, baby moose. So when you're hearing about a calf, it's a baby moose, but it also can be a baby cow. That's right. Most live alone. Most moose live alone. So most doesn't mean every single one. It says most, the majority. They stay in an area called a home range. Sometimes moose leave their home range to go somewhere else for the winter. So they migrate. That's right. They might go to a place where they can find food. So they migrate to a place not near their home during the winter. Then they live in groups to stay warm and safe. So in the winter, they're not alone. They live in groups to stay warm and safe. You know, they huddle, they'll get warm, and also they can be helping each other, watching for predators. That's right. Wolves, bears. Wyoming moose live hilly homes to find plants in winter. So here we see they're trying to find some, this is winter, and they're finding some plants to eat. Moose spend a lot of time eating. They need to eat 45 to 60 pounds of plant each day. That's a lot of plants they're eating. Moose have a special stomach with 4 sections. So their stomach has 4 sections. This helps them digest all the plants. And digest means to break down food in the stomach. And let's read this caption over here. And it says, a moose uses its teeth to grind up twigs. So it grinds it, that's right? Just like when we're eating meat, we grind the meat. We're not going to eat it solid, and we use our molars because it's the strongest part of the strongest teeth we have. That's right. So here we see the moose, and this might be a female moose because I don't see no antlers. People can see a lot of wild moose in Canada and Alaska. Sometimes moose live close to towns and can be seen walking down the street. It is exciting to see these huge deer in town and in their forest habitats. You know, I've never seen a moose, but I did see an elk. And elks are from the same family from moose, but they're just a little bit, they're not as tall as the moose. And it was really exciting when I saw them. Okay, so this is the end. And I'm going to finish the book. I'm going to do the quiz. Good job. Now, if I would check out a book, and I wanted, if I would ask you, okay, look for a book, a resource, a book that has what moose eat and their habitat, you can always go and look for a book, and you go to, let's go all the way here. You go to the table of contents. So here it says a good swimmer, parts of a moose. So parts of the moose is going to be the characteristics, picture, glossary, index to learn more. So in this book, when I was looking something to read to you, I said, well, this doesn't have the habitat, or this doesn't have what they eat. So I kept on looking. And this one didn't even have a table of contents, but it does say moose examines the characteristics and habitat of the gangly forest mammal in a simple way. It does have the habitat, but it doesn't have the diet, what they eat. So I kept on looking to find a good book to read that had both. And then I came to this book and I looked and read it and found what I wanted. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to answer the questions. What do moose eat? Do you remember what moose eat? Okay, so how can we write that in a sentence? Moose eat willow. And you know what? When I can't remember something, the best thing to do, because we can't, when we're doing research, we have to go back and see what we can find. Moose eat plants from the water and from land. It likes to eat leaves from willow, birch, and aspen trees. A moose will eat twigs and bark if there are no leaves on the trees. So we could put that they eat plants. That's right. Okay, moose eat plants from, and what did they say? From the water? Yes, from the water. Water and land. That's right. Now, because they eat only plants, they're what? You're right. They are herbivores. Okay, so they are herbivores because they eat plants. They don't eat no meat. Okay, if they would eat meat, then they'll be carnivores. Okay, so what are the different habitats of moose? So in this book, we just found that that the moose, remember where they live? Moose live, you remember where? You're right, in the forest. Uh-oh, got the wrong one. And let's go back here. Yes, moose live in forests. They like to be near water, such as stream or lake. Okay, so let's go back here. And remember, when you have any doubt, you go back to the book to make sure. In the forest, they like to live near and what was it? Was it lakes, near lakes and streams? Was it streams? I can't remember. So remember, when you're in doubt, you go back and look. Yeah. And streams. It doesn't have to be just those two. This is as a stream or lake. And streams. Okay, so we already answered our two questions. Now what I want you to do is that you're going to go to the board and you're going to write down, or you can draw, what do moose eat and what are the different habitats of a moose. So remember, you can draw it, or you can write it, or you can do both, whatever you want to do. So thank you, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.